My little kitty has finally come out of hiding. I don't know where he was sleeping. It might have been under my bed. Couldn't find him a while ago. I was calling you, but I didn't see you anywhere. I'm gonna play a little piece that I composed approximately a year ago about a marvelous location in a mountain range that's about an hour south of Tucson, the Santa Rita Mountains. Quite an amazing self-contained range of mountains that peaks out over 9,000 feet. The two main peaks are Mount Wrightson and Mount Hopkins. And actually, they're sort of like twin peaks with a very, very deep valley in between them. And that valley is not technically a canyon, although some may argue the point that it qualifies as a canyon, but it's called Madera Canyon. Madera as in wooded canyon. And there's very dense conifer and oak forest starting at around 6,000 feet and all the way up to the flanks of the peaks. Mount Hopkins actually has a solar observatory that was built there back in the they started construction in the late 70s when I was actually working and living up in Madera Canyon. At that time they still had a lovely little lodge called the Santa Rita Lodge, where I actually was a cook for the restaurant there for a couple of years. My girlfriend at the time was a server for the restaurant, and I was a cook in the kitchen. Very hard job, but the rewards were many. Being able to live in a cabin up in the Madera Canyon was just marvelous beyond belief. It was fantastic. And I did a lot of hiking in those days all around the canyon. I actually summited Mount Wrightson a couple of times. The good old days. We would eat mushrooms and go hiking up into the psychedelic rocks and so forth. That sort of outcrop just underneath the summit of Mount Wrightson. Very psychedelic and weird landscape up there. But just incredible. When there's been precipitation in the form of rain or snow, the creek will run pretty nicely all the way down through the whole canyon and out into the valley, out onto the alluvial plain. Not far outside the mouth of the canyon, the water will sort of disappear into the ground. Except for when there's been heavy rainstorms in the form of flash floods and so forth, the water doesn't make it that far outside the mouth of the canyon. But when it does run, and it will run for months at a time, it's just marvelous to hike up and down the stream and sit on the rocks and outcrops under the sycamore trees, and there's actually some pools that are big enough to swim in and wade around in, a few waterfalls. It's a magical place. And back in the late 70s, which is when I worked there and lived there, the late 1970s, it was truly an incredible place, and still is. Except there's more people that frequent the canyon now, but that's another story. I simply call this piece the Madera Canyon Waltz. And of course I wrote it in remembrance of the time when I lived up there, which was Just a marvelous time of my life. Madera Canyon Waltz. I'm about due for another trip down there. It's been quite a while since I went up into the canyon. It's a bittersweet thing for me to do. The Santa Rita Lodge where I used to work was arsonized in the early 1980s by a disgruntled employee, or so we're told. And he set fire to the whole place and had burned it all the way down to the foundation. There is a little gift shop which they built right next to the original foundation, but nothing's the same up there. There do remain some cabins and a little small motel wing on either side of where the lodge used to stand. But the lodge itself was such a marvelous structure built out of native stone and timber back, like, I think, in the 1930s. But it is no more. Such as it is in life sometimes. So, there you have it, folks. The Madera Canyon Waltz. I hope you enjoyed it. God bless all of you. Take care.